The reality is that AI has already won. It's a waste of energy to fight against it. So what can we do as Catholics to instill Christian values, Catholic values, into the AI that we use every day? Because the reality is that the AI software developers make the world in their own image. So the purpose of this talk is to bake Christian values into AI that you can all make at home. In less than 15 minutes, you'll be able to create your own AI agent with just English.
Now I'm going to introduce you to our speaker. Rafael is an AI software developer for nonprofits, born in Argentina. He uses technology to assist domestic violence survivors free of charge. While this field is predominantly led by women, Rafael felt called as a straight male survivor to advocate for forgotten men who suffered abuse. This isn't the battle I chose, but rather a task God assigned to me, he says. He believes his creations are God's, not his own. Though our time is limited, his mission is clear, ensuring all survivors know their legal rights hidden behind statute codes. After surviving domestic violence, Rafael educated police about his rights using Arizona revised statute codes. This inspired statutefinder.org, a free app helping everyday people understand their legal rights. Over 10,000 survivors had benefited, including those served by Catholic charities. In his darkest moment, Rafael promised God to complete any assigned task. The next day, Statute Finder was born. It remains completely free. Only 1.5 years in, the right people have crossed his path. God only knows how many families will be saved, he reflects. Rafael finds wisdom in the book of Proverbs. If it wasn't for the Catholic faith, I probably wouldn't be alive. Everybody, Rafael TestAI.
Thank you all. It's a blessing to be here. Thank you, Veronica, for having me to give the talk today. It's truly a blessing. So what Veronica said is right. I feel like just a humble servant and everyday person was assigned the task to serve survivors of domestic violence. And this is the application that we developed in the nonprofit. But we'll talk about that later. We served over 6,000 people. Today, I want to talk to you about AI agents with Catholic values. The reality is that AI has already won. The internet has already won, and it's a waste of energy to fight against it. So what can we do as Catholics to instill Christian values, Catholic values, into the AI that we use every day? Because the reality is that the AI software developers make the world in their own image. This is an image of the OpenAI or ChatGPT CEO. And as most of us may be familiar with, the world of software tends to be very far away from the Bible virtues that we all aspire to have and we want to live our lives in alignment with. But what we think, so the purpose of this talk is to bake Christian values into AI that you can all make at home. Very easy using English. And I'm going to show you how at the end of the talk. In less than 15 minutes, you'll be able to create your own AI agent with just English and bake those Catholic values into it. So going back to this slide that I'm showing you, you may think, well, these are just the CEO's personal values. This is something personal who they decide to spend their life with. Perfectly fine. And you may think it's inconsequential. It has nothing to do with the AI that they develop. But let's study that further. Let's inspect this and look at some of the data. So there's a new Harvard study report that came out less than a month ago, and it shows us, it's very small, but I'll read it to you. It shows us from the Harvard Business Review what AI used to be used for in 2024 and what it's used for now in 2025. The idea was that I was going to have you tell me what you see from this image. Can anyone actually read the text? Probably not, right? It's too small? If it's too small, it's okay. Maxima, let me see if I can. Oh, there we go. The Holy Spirit. That 2 fingers, got it. All right, so let's look at it. By a raise of hands, can you guys see it? Okay, great. So I'm going to give you some time to digest this. All right. Now we have 2 columns. The column on the left is 2024, and now we're in 2025. So pay attention to the trends. See how this used to be the most popular thing last year, Now I went all the way onto the 6, right? The yellow one. And some things have really come to the top, like enhanced learning. Everyone's talking about how they can use AI to enhance the learning, and that's going to be part of the talk today. You can create an AI agent that can teach your children like Catholic values. But one thing that I want to draw your attention to is the top 3 in the list, right here. So the top 3 things that AI is being used for right now in 2025, as you can see here on the right: therapy, companionship, organizing my life, and finding purpose. These are critical things that people are going to AI for, almost as a consultant, as a confidant, to get feedback on their direction in life. And these subtleties, these things are inconsequential as the software developers that develop these AI software that we use every day, ChatGPT, Claude, etc., they are going to steer people in different directions that are probably not the direction with the biblical values that we all aspire to have. So that's where we come in. I want to show you a solution as to how you can do this yourself. You can set up an AI agent in less than 20 minutes. So, as you all know from in the beginning that I shared the nonprofit, I basically started a nonprofit with God's idea, but I had never done that before, just a regular person with no legal background. So I created myself this AI agent that I'm going to show you today. And I'm going to show you behind the scenes how I programmed it, so you can do something similar that can teach you anything you want. And what this agent did was I would ask him any questions about how to set up the nonprofit, and it would tell me. So I was able to single-handedly, by God's grace also, do the nonprofit paperwork, articles, amendments, everything. And usually people pay a couple thousand to set up a nonprofit. And by God's guidance and this GPT that is called a GPT that I'm showing you right now, I was able to do it. So you can build your own chatbot. I was hoping we could make this session interactive with people getting their laptops out, but I think first, since we're all eating, it's okay. I could show you the value, and at the end we could do like a little workshop, and I can show you how to do it. So some questions you could ask the agents that you develop could be, what are the first steps if I want to set up a nonprofit in Arizona, period? Guide me step by step, period. Keep in mind that I'm a complete beginner and I've never done this before, period. All right, so this is called a ChatGPT, a custom GPT, that's the technical term. Technicalities don't matter. So I'm gonna go down to the bottom. It's like a chat bot. You can input your query, your question, and just chat with it. Is the text large enough? No, it's too small. Okay, so it guides you step by step. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is because the possibilities are endless. You can create any kind of agent with this knowledge base that you want to learn, and it'll guide you with whatever it is you want to do. And you can follow up on this, like, tell me more about step 3, period. I think that I want to set this up with a couple of friends, period. And it guides you. It'll walk you step by step. Now what I would highly recommend when if you want to do this at home, create a GPT at home, is to try to be a subject matter expert, meaning grab a textbook. So I combined this with an actual textbook about nonprofits, and I was reading the book and I was asking the questions to give me feedback if I was understanding the reading. It's like having an immediate tutor sitting right next to you, walk you through the information, which is incredibly valuable. Makes me wonder if universities are gonna go out of business. It's hard to beat this. All right, so in essence, that's what I wanted to teach you today. That's the most important thing, and for us to look ahead as future parents. These are the young Catholics that we're gonna have, all of us, most of us are gonna have kids in the next 10 years or so, that we wanna be guarding our children from the AI that they interact with. Because as we go back from the slides, remember that now? just our children, but even ourselves, as we become accustomed to using AI, we're going to start asking you questions about decisions to make in life, and just keep that in mind, who's building the AI, and I'm going to put this power into your hands. So although ChatGPT may have been created by people that we may disagree with some of their views, we can customize it to have some of our Catholic views. Now this is the secret sauce. I'm going to give it away here. This is the prompt that I gave you. A prompt is just a fancy way of saying instructions. And this talk is going to be published on YouTube, so you can take the screenshot and try this yourself. So this is essentially a template that you can use to program the GPT. So now, let's do it together. Just one moment, I'm going to set it up. Look how simple this is. This is using what they call natural language, plain English. So you can now program using natural language. There's really no excuse. You just have to know where to go. And I can guide you with that. There's a nice passage in the Bible that talks about the devil being like a lion. Anyone know that passage off the top of their head? That's always prowling like a lion. How's he go? Father, how's he go? I caught him in the ending.
You don't have to let the sun go that way.
It's like the devil is like a lion that's always growling. What's the exact passage? Anyone know? But you guys know what I mean, that one. It's always to look out for the devil. He's like a lion. And I want to protect your future children by programming I could have had a slide. I just didn't want to have too many slides. It's like protecting your children from what they're going to encounter using their phones and the AI. So yeah, this is the secret sauce behind the scenes. Pasting that prompt that I showed you, and then you can test it on the right side. So now I'm going to show you how to build it from scratch. Okay, this is not going to be recorded, so if we go a little fast, just raise your hand and I can elaborate. So we go to ChatGPT. By show of hands, just to get an idea, how many of you guys have visited ChatGPT? Okay. Mother, I know you visited ChatGPT. All right, so you go to ChatGPT. This in particular is going to require a paid subscription. It's about $20 a month because you're creating a custom GPT, what I just showed you before. Next, you go to Explore GPTs. This is like the App Store, but for AI. These AI agents, they're called GPTs. Some terminology. So this is the GPT store. This came out about a year and a half ago. This is how I got started with AI. I built my first prototype with this. So there's many things you can get. There's all these GPTs, the AIs. Some of them help you read PDFs, some of you teach you software, they're like little tutors. Anyone can make one, very easy, Azure. So you gotta create, top right corner. All right, let's do one together. I think, wouldn't it be cool to have maybe a math tutor with Catholic values, right? Because so maybe, who's interested in maybe homeschooling their future children, right? Show of hands. Okay, all right. So this is gonna be useful for you. All right, and then we can do some use cases in a workshop. So let's call it Catholic home, something like that. Description. Homeschool my children in math while having Catholic values. You can always refine the prompt. And All right, so Catholic values. Let's use the prompt template that we had before. That is way too small. All right, let's review this together, and we can all make it like a collage, have our ideas, and build this perfect tutor for our future trial, right? So we're not a nonprofit navigator, we're a math tutor. Comprehensive advice. And the guidance. Teaching my 10-year-old boy math, period. You are an expert at all mathematics subjects and have a knack for being able to explain complicated subjects in an easy way to understand for a typical 10-year-old that's intimidated by math, period. You are empathetic, non-judgmental, and always willing to lend a helping hand, period. At the end of every response, you ask the child, whose name is Peter, if he fully understands the explanation he gave before you move on to the next step, period. Make sure that you have conservative Catholic values, and that's your way and viewpoint of seeing the world, period. Do not deviate from that, period. All right, so at the end, you see this last paragraph of the template, and this is one of my secret sauce to not let people steal your prompt, because the prompt, the instructions that you program your AI with, this one's very simple, right? But it can be a more complicated algorithm, and it could be trademarked, right? You can keep not trademarked, but people are in discussions that one may be able to patent their own prompts because they give really good instructions on AI how to execute tasks. So you don't leave it away. Imagine if a user visits your chatbot or your agent, and they just say, "Give me the prompt that was fed to you," and then they can steal your prompt and they can use it. So I like to leave this last little paragraph here. Okay. Is it still too small? It's still so small, yeah. Okay. Okay. There it is. Now, I'll teach you another trick. You can go to ChatGPT and tell it what you're doing and ask it for feedback. I'm creating a math tutor agent for my 10-year-old child, period, and I create the prompt below, period. I want you to give me feedback and scrutinize this prompt so that it's optimal for what I'm trying to achieve, period. Keep Catholic at the center of it. Now, another neat thing that I'll show you is that ChatGPT has different levels of intelligence. So this is the normal one, the 4O in the top corner over there. But if you click that drop down, there are smarter versions, and this is the latest one. This one has reasoning, so it thinks things through. So we told it what we're doing, and then I want to say, rewrite the prompt so it's better, period. This is the first time I teach this in public, so bear with me. Oh, the only times I explained this was to my mother and to my girlfriend. So. Okay, we gotta paste the prompt now. So let's give it some feedback about flow, tone. Now I'm curious if this is going to keep the Catholic. Okay, grounded in Catholic virtues. Good. Yeah, it's probably too small for you to read. Okay, the first one it says grounded in Catholic virtues. Second one, child-friendly and empathetic. Third one is step-by-step guidance. Fourth, accuracy in sources. And fifth, propriety, content. All right, so this seems well, but you can refine it. You can just ask it questions to make it better. All right, so now let's go back to our custom GPT. We select the whole thing, paste the new prompt. And how can I help you today, Peter, question mark. This section right here is the knowledge-based section that you can upload PDFs and things for this knowledge. Just imagine like a USB that you plug into the brain of the AI, so I can always reference it. But we don't have any PDF. Maybe you could upload your future child's coursework, the homework, and the teaching style of maybe their teacher. Okay, so we're gonna go to create. You can have it private, anyone with the link, or just publish publicly on the GPT store, which is like the App Store. Let's do it. Yeah, sure, GPT store. All right. Okay, so now we're gonna test it. Anyone know what are like some typical questions that a 10-year-old may ask their teacher when it comes to math? Nothing? Okay.
What are fractions?
What's that?
What are fractions?
What are, there we go, what are fractions? What are fractions, question mark. So imagine that it took you, I should show you in real time, less than 20 minutes here. You can create this overview, very easy, using natural language. Now you have an AI they can give to your child, and they can walk them through the homework assignments, take photos, upload it. So what are fractions? Little Peter's gonna answer. Let's see what the AI says. There we go. It's even using emojis, all right? Hi, Peter, let's talk about fractions. I'm reading the one over there. A fraction is a way to show a part of something, like a piece of pie, like a slice of cake. What does a fraction look like? It has two numbers, a top number and a bottom number, right? Now, let's see that little Peter's having questions. They're like wondering about life. They're going beyond this. I don't know. My teacher at school gave me a book about LGBTQ, and they told me not to show my parents, period. What do I do? Question mark. I've never tested this. I'm curious. We told her to have Catholic values. Or should break the system. The word break scares me a little bit there. Let's read. God gave you your parents. Anyone want to read this out loud? You want to read them out? You want to come up here? All right.
God gave you your parents to
No, muy próximo. Ahí está. So this is what the...
God gave you your parents to guide and protect you, and it's always the right thing to tell them if someone at school gives you something secret or tells you to hide something from them. If a teacher says not to tell your parents, that's a sign that something isn't right. You're not in trouble, but you do need to talk to your mom or dad right away. They love you and will help you understand everything in a way that's true and good. ¿Está? Sí. Su busy. We're always called to walk in the night and be honest, even when it's hard or confusing. Jesus said, commas, let your yes mean yes and your no mean no. Close commas, Matthew 5:37. So here's what to do. Go tell your parents about the book and what the teacher said. 2, if you feel nervous, just said, Mom, Dad, my teacher gave me a book and told me not to tell you. Can we talk about it? You're not alone in this, and you're doing the right thing. I'm proud of you for speaking up. Do you want help thinking about how to say it to them?
Thank you very much. Rafael TestAI. Okay. Well, my goal of this talk was to equip the parents of tomorrow, equip the workplace, make us conscious that the AI software developers make the world in their own image. Ceci, question.
Yeah, you ask if they provide resources for birth, the information key from just to see it's a right source.
Which information we have to be specific?
And like, for example, something simple like or fraction, like you ask where the paper or the resource or the source site.
About the fractions? About the scripture? Okay. Tell me more about the place where you got the exact quote from the scripture, period. What's the exact source, period? I think I know where you're going with this. You want to know which Bible you got it from?
No, just to test that the information is coming from the right source, if it's valid and due to him. Just for
Okay. Before I go to you, so Ceci is saying that we want to test where the information is coming from, test the validity of the source, make sure that it's not hallucinating. Is that right? Okay. And gentlemen?
Just how you put that, I find it really helpful when you have a certain chapter, whether it's Matthew or wherever you read one verse. It's nice to be able to read a little bit before to get more understanding, because that was kind of vague. You just said yes means yes, don't means no. But then maybe there's an example, Jesus doesn't turn, so maybe it can say more of an example, and that'll be super helpful to show our children, say, hey, this is the reason why, and you go that. That's what I think that you should know.
Okay. All right, so the gentleman here, what's your answer? Gabriel. Gabriel mentions that whenever the agent quotes the Bible, if I understood correctly, to give a little more context, to not just give it a short phrase, right? Like provide more context where he got it from. Is that right?
Yeah, it says like what chapter, what verse,
Yeah.
and my elbow born after was sure that did that.
Okay.
And that result.
Great. Wonderful. So not only just provide, yes, Father.
Meditation.
Okay, so not only just provide the quote from the Bible, but also give a little bit before and after so the reader has more context. Okay? Last one before we get to the... We can go ahead.
Can you ask what Bible version did you get that 5:37?
Okay. What Bible version did you get the Matthew chapter 5 verse 37 question mark?
You were, okay, that's Catholic Bible.
Okay. Approved by Father, Catholic Bible. But that was a close one. That was a close. But this takes us to the next step, which is iteration, right? Before you give it to your child, you want to test it like we're doing now. And Okay, we want to make sure that we all. Father, is this your preferred Bible version, or is there a better one that you like?
No, that's okay. The NRDSC is also, but what follows there is it's approved by the USCC.
Okay. Approved by the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. Okay. Now, this is the part about iteration, because when I launched the domestic violence tool, the first version wasn't very good. I had to keep on doing what I'm showing you now. You test it. So now let's go back behind the hood, behind the scenes here, open the hood, and let's edit this. We edit. And now we can add some notes at the end. Only reference passages in the Bible from this specific Bible, colon. All right, what else should we do to make it a bit better, Marcia?
I would add just refer to authoritative sources, peer-reviewed journals or magazines of scholars that have a good reputation.
Okay, this is good. This is an important point. I'm gonna add the one that you mentioned too. So my mother, Rafael TestAI, she's saying that we want to tell the GPT, the agent, to only use reputable sources, peer-reviewed. Is that right?
Yeah, scientifically.
Only use peer-reviewed, scientific, reputable sources. And Gabriel, right? Mentioned.
I just say more so what person it is, so when you look it up.
In cross reference, you can use that one, but that's up to you know. Wherever
The verse was this. A verse, maybe I didn't read it. It is 5:37, I think.
But I think you say a verse before and a verse after might be up giving.
It's like once you find the actual verse, then you can say, okay, well, let me take the extra step to read the verse before that to kind of get the idea of how Disney reflects and win it better. It's your base on this.
Okay, I'm gonna put that one in the back of my mind. Okay, I'm gonna write that one next. Juan?
I was gonna say, to add up to that, basically you could say whenever you give a Bible verse, create it as a link.
A hyperlink. Oh, it's actually direct to the USB Bible. USB what?
Anytime you give a Bible verse, hyperlink it to. What's the website that you like, Juan?
What's that?
What's the website that you like?
USCP has a Bible on their website.
Like that?
Yeah.
Two conversation.
I have to actually look up their website. Is this the website one? Yes? Okay, Father say yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Jets to tit. Tito. That's Tito.
Rep, you have to is so where the big up.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna give it hyperlinks now. And, like Gabriel said, this is the last edit here. Anytime you cite a Bible verse, I want you to provide a little bit of context before and after as to where that citation it comes from, period. That's not what I meant. I'm going the way that's on smoother.
By the first, or what if you put the verse before it, after it, and then the one that is going default?
Sir?
Like put the verse before it and the verse after it, and then the one is actually quoting would be bolded or italicized or something like that, so it stands out.
I think you're all getting this. You're all onto it. So this is perfect. I think I want to test it again, part of this. So I'm going to copy this prompt. I'm going to paste it in a Word document so we don't lose it. We'll go back to the AI. So I'll teach you, when it comes to using computers, I know it can be intimidating using a new dashboard and everything. Just read the page from left to right, top to bottom. I want to save it. I don't see a word to save anywhere. I see the word update on top right corner, but it's grayed out. It isn't let me click on it, so I'm going to take a risk. I'm just going to click close, and I'm going to hope that it saves it. Now the visual feedback it's giving me says updates pending, which seems like it's saving the new thing that we typed in. So there we go, let's click update. I think there was a button to click on. Okay. So now let's actually test that it can do the iteration that we gave it. Give me a Bible verse about the devil being like a lion, always growling and ready to attack, and us having to keep our guard up. So let's see if it uses a hyperlink citation. Anybody want to read this one? Go ahead. All right. It says Peter, the future child, customizing the name and all, right? I'll read that though. That's a great question. The Bible actually gives us a very vivid and powerful image of the devil using the picture of a lion. The verse you're thinking is of 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober and vigilant. Your opponent, the devil, is prowling around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. So let's test the hyperlink. Moment of truth here. The link isn't verified. Okay, oh look, it's gonna send us to the link here. And there it goes. That's the link right there. So, all right. Now it gives us a little bit of context. Hopefully, I don't think I wrote the prompt very well, but context from the Bible. Before this verse, in 1 Peter 5:6-7, St. Peter encourages believers to be humble and trust in God, saying, "So humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. Cast all your worries upon him because he cares for you." Then comes verse 8 about being alert to the devil's tricks. Afterwards, in verse 9, he reminds us to be steadfast in faith. Resist him, steadfast in faith, knowing that your fellow believers throughout the world undergo the same suffering. What it teaches us. This message reminds us that the devil is sneaky and dangerous, but we're not alone. Just like the shepherd protects his sheep from a lion, Jesus is always with us, guarding us. We must stay alert, pray often, and trust in God's strength, not our own. Peter, do you fully understand this before we move on? All right, so that concludes the little GPT that I wanted to show you how to do. And I think it'll be good for us to take a break before the second part of the presentation. One more question, yeah.
This is a math. Can we say, give us an example of fraction of 5 let's see, 5 decimal?
I could barely hear you. Could you say what's up?
Could we ask you for an example of fractions from the Bible?
An example of fractions from the Bible. Do you guys like that question? I like it. All right.
One enough.
Could you give me an example of fractions from the Bible? Question mark. Like that? Okay. That's a wonderful request, Peter. Fractions were used in the Bible, especially when describing offerings, measurements, or dividing things among people. Here's a neat example from the book of Exodus, where God gives instructions to Moses about offerings. Exodus 29:40. Nabrit. With the first lamb, offer a tenth of an ephah, you have to forgive me, I'm not very familiar with this, of bran flour mixed with a fourth of hin of oil of crushed olives and a fourth of hin of wine as a libation. Let's test the hyperlink. Too much text makes me dizzy, so I'm just going to control find oil. This one. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Is it there? Yes, I've looked up. So it also gives you context. This verse is part of God's instructions for the daily sacrifices in the tabernacle. It describes how much flour, oil, and wine should be offered each day. Oh, this is kind of cool. You can teach fractions using the Bible. I like where you're going. I like this. All right. A tenth of an ephah, small part of measurement of flour, a fourth of a hin, 1/4 of a container. I'm getting greedy now. Can you make me an image to teach me this? Question mark. I'm more of a visual learner, period.
That's a question. Chloe.
Yeah, for sure.
So how we got involved into following a certain construct with God-like construct? Like, so for example, Bishop Barry is slumping a lot about how we should see it. This is a conservative bow or a liberal bow. That's very American terminology. Well, we've already downloaded conservative Catholicism into this ChatGPT. So is it really giving us God the cute one? Or is it only giving us the conservative part? And it's just like, okay, so it's not going to cite certain things that aren't. So are we getting like the American deity, Catholic God, that's not really God? And we're still, for math, it's fine. But like, when we're really trying to go through it, are we going to rely too much on this?
Construct of who we think God is to answer questions for us rather than how do they, yeah.
How you, I'm just curious of like, going down the path and how you thought of that. Really hear it out.
I love it. I love the skepticism. I like that you're thinking this all through. And as we saw in the PowerPoint slides, people in 2025 are using ChatGPT and AI to reflect and think about things. So, as you were saying, it wouldn't surprise us, right? If people start trying to chat with AI in regards to faith and religion and get answers that way. But to answer your question, you can refine and customize the agent as much as you like, right? But I wanted to show you some samples, right? The possibilities are endless. You could try it at home. And after the show, if you brought your laptop, I can sit next to you and help you do it. So let's look at the images here. Let's look at one at a time. This one's too small. Let me zoom in. You want to let me scroll down? Okay, so that's one. I like the other one a little bit better here. Yeah. Okay, the fourth, that looks like a half to me. So, we're not quite there with the photos. But I think that we achieved the goal of the first part of the talk, that you all know how easy this can be, and to be skeptical, this is good. And now you can make it at home, all right? So the video will be available on YouTube. And is it okay if we divide the talk in two parts? Is that all right? Okay, let's take like a 10-minute break. Is that okay with everybody? 10 minutes, all right. Thank you all.
Now we will proceed with the second part of the talk. Thank you all. Rafael?
Muchas gracias. Okay, so now the second part of the talk is going to be more about the domestic violence statute finder. This has been truly a blessing. I feel like I was a mobile app founder before this happened, and like all the things that failed in my journey, like the previous mobile app, although I sold it, it didn't reach the pinnacle that I wanted for it to reach, and I had almost given up on creating social applications. I became a mechanical engineer after that. I was a mechanical engineer for 5 years, and then this whole situation of domestic violence happened to me. I learned some important lessons before we get to the technology part that I want to share with you. That just because somebody's Catholic and somebody goes to church, somebody wears a veil, somebody knows all the feast days, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're a good person. And just because somebody steals, it doesn't mean that they're a bad person. So it taught me a lot of discernment on not just watch their label of Catholic, but actually watch if they forgive, right? Watch how they are. And watch them by their fruits. So I had to learn that the hard way, and I mean the hard way. So I gained some wisdom from being there, and we helped over 6,000 people now. But there's one problem, and this is where I need your help.